Yup, I'm home. As you can very clearly tell, this desk is way bigger than the one I have at college. Oh, statue of former US President George H.W. Bush, what wise wisdom do you have to bestow upon us today?
If there is water, that means there is oxygen. If oxygen, that means we can breathe.
I want to get ahead of the Game Awards today just to talk about sort of the characters I find the most interesting in terms of fan-requested characters. So I have this list here that I'm going to go off of. And if it's not obvious me talking about it, I'm just going to say now that I really do think all these characters are good, interesting picks and would likely have very good movesets. But if there's something specific about that character that I think would really make them stand out, I'll mention it. Now this is not specifically for Fighters Pass number 5. I'm just kind of going through in a bullet point quick fashion on all these DLC fighters. So first up is Geno from Mario RPG, and I'm really rooting for him now. I'm not the hugest Geno fan. I like his design, and I really do think he has a really good moveset potential between combination of magic and projectiles and all the crazy stuff he could do in his game, but I'm just really feeling him right now. I just feel really bad for Geno, man. I know Sakurai has talked about wanting to include Geno since Brawl, but I just think he's just in this weird no man's land between being a first-party character and a third-party character, that he's essentially a Nintendo character, but he's owned by Square Enix, but he's not really relevant enough to either Nintendo's interests or Square Enix's interests to really sort of figure out and fix all of the legal weirdness about him. And I really think that's what stopped him from becoming a character until now. He feels more like a Nintendo character. You just look at him and you're like, oh, this is a Nintendo character. And so Square Enix hasn't really used him all that much because Geno doesn't fit in any sort of the stuff that Square Enix owns, and then I'm sure Nintendo would love to use Geno, but Square Enix owns him, and so Nintendo's well, what's the point of trying to fight over this one character? I know some people compare Geno to K. Rool in that aspect, even though K. Rool is entirely owned by Nintendo, and Nintendo just didn't want to use him from between the last time he appeared and Smash Ultimate. Whereas with Geno, Square and Nintendo have to convene together in order to talk about even using the character. It's going to be interesting because if Geno keeps getting super requested like this, then him getting in Smash might actually resolve all his weird legal issues. Nintendo might just get him back just so I don't have to deal with Square Enix anymore. And that'll be really exciting. And I know some people have speculated that Nintendo might have done this already because of some music copyright takedowns that happened earlier in the year. Now, next up, there's two characters from two different companies that I've seen requested, but I really do think they're in conflict with each other because they both kind of fulfill the same niche. And I really don't see them both coexisting unless Smash Ultimate DLC goes on for 5 years plus. Monster Hunter and a Dark Souls character both cannot be in the game at the same time the way things currently are. Both come from series that are medieval themed and have tons and tons of crazy, unique weapons that each could use. I know Dark Souls has magic too, but I think that's kind of encroaching on Heroes territory a bit more. I'm kind of conflicted about which of these two characters I want because Monster Hunter specifically has had a closer relationship with Nintendo in the past, and I've played tons more Monster Hunter, and I think all those weapons are amazing, and there's tons and tons of moveset potential, more than I can ever need for a character. But Dark Souls is I play those games too, but that is just kind of more better representative of gaming as a whole rather than a character related to gaming. And I really feel with Ultimate, that's kind of more the spirit of what it's all about. My only real concern in terms of Monster Hunter getting in is the weapon variety in Monster Hunter really needs to be properly represented to represent a Monster Hunter character. But the problem is you'd have sort of an incohesive feeling moveset because you have tons of short-range melee weapons in Monster Hunter, and then you also have ranged weapons, but then you also have massive melee weapons that could potentially easily outrange Simon and Richter's whips. Now, Crash Bandicoot is just one of those characters that I trust is going to have a good moveset. I just think he just really, like, I don't know if deserve is the right word, but like he will get in because of his influence and legacy in gaming. God, could you imagine Crash against Mario in this game? And like all the wacky shit Crash could do? The reveal honestly just writes itself. Just make a sequel to the live-action North American Smash 64 commercial where all the characters are beating each other up, and they have 90s era attitude Crash from that same time that was yelling in front of Nintendo headquarters. Just come in and beat the shit out of everybody. I can very easily see it happening just based on the way Crash is becoming more relevant now. But, like, there's gotta be a catch, right? It's Activision Blizzard, they're money hungry. There's gotta be, like, something there, right? Doomslayer, perfect Smash character, I think. Like, the violence might be, like, a little bit of an issue, but I really do trust the development team to fix that. So, he like, perfect. Like, yeah, good. Amaterasu from Okami, I think, is very interesting because you look at sort of the DLC releases so far, aside from Piranha Plant, you have characters that are, like, popular, but they're not, like, the most popular, you know, top 10, you know, grossing video game franchises of all time. But they're not really, like, obscure either, and I think Amaterasu really, like, fits into that category perfectly. Being a quadruped is already going to make Amaterasu stand out compared to almost everybody else, and even compared to someone like Duck Hunt or Ivysaur, having sort of like a weird sort of melee weapon paintbrush moveset would be really amazing. Agumon from Digimon, I really think fits in sort of that Crash Bandicoot territory of, I trust they're going to make a good moveset. I think just sort of the rivalry and the legacy is really what makes me want the character. I was gonna say that having a character sort of change their weight mid-match would actually be like a very unique, interesting gimmick, but then I forgot that Charizard was on Pokemon Trainer's team. It obviously would be a very different implementation. Now, before I end this video, I want to talk about the elephant in the room that is Waluigi. Now, I don't really have any sort of doubt about Waluigi's character moveset potential. Just make an even weirder version of Luigi. There you go, done. I think Waluigi is just like right at that cusp of relevancy, despite not being in a mainline game like all the other Mario characters in Smash so far, that he really probably should be in Smash by now. I think Waluigi being both an assist trophy and a character is not as big of an issue because it just honestly kind of feels kind of in character for him. Waluigi is kind of like a conniving, cheating, sort of disrespectful kind of character in the Mario spin-offs. So him trying to like break out of his assist trophy status and become an actual fighter like really fits his character. So you have an easy excuse for an assist trophy upgrade. You have a good moveset, and you have him being relevant. What's really the holdup? Now, the only real roadblock I see for Waluigi getting in is Smash Ultimate's developers, I really think kind of have like this weird, like old school game development mindset. In all the updates for Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate so far, we've obviously had new content, but there's never really been the developers going back and changing already made content. I mean, Castle Siege has that visibility issue on the right side because of the artwork in the foreground that is very clearly obvious, and everyone's been bitching about it since the game came out, but they haven't gone back and fixed it. Same thing with getting hazard toggle, not as a rule set, but on the stage menu itself. Now you're gonna have to address Waluigi's assist trophy in some way if he becomes playable. Now, whether you have him appear less often, but you still have both the player Waluigis and the assist trophy Waluigi's on stage, or you just disable him entirely when you choose Waluigi. Like, I don't know the solution to that, but like the fact that like they won't go back and make changes to stuff they've already made, like, really makes me concerned, to be honest. So I'm sorry, Waluigi, but like your chances are like severely impeded to me because of that little like amount of effort that they aren't willing to go back and do. This video's been getting way too long anyways to film, so let's just see what happens at the Game Awards tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow.